Now let us start with the word problems. Now normally whenever we start with the word problems, we get a general feedback from the students that there are many students who somehow don't like word problems because they find it a bit difficult to form the equation. Solving part any which ways is simple. You can solve by substitution method or elimination method or any of the methods that we have studied. But now the question is how to form the equation. So first learn the technique to form the equation. This is very simple, trust me. So let's see how to form the equation. I just give you all a statement. Ram is 8 more than twice the age of Rahim. Find their present ages. The question is Ram is 8 more than twice the age of Rahim. Find their present ages. The problem that most of us face is when we read this sum, we try to understand it. Ram is 8 more than twice the age of Rahim. Okay, X is, somewhere we just keep on thinking this and we don't start the sum. Never do that. A simple way of solving a word problem is, after you read the sum, initially don't try to understand anything. Directly read the last statement. Now what does the last statement say? Find their present ages. So it's very clear that to convert this into a mathematical statement, the first thing that we need to do is, we need to understand what are we supposed to find. We are supposed to find the ages of Ram and Rahim. So there are two unknowns. There are two characters, Ram and Rahim, and we are supposed to find their age, their present age. So we are supposed to find the present age of Ram and we are supposed to find the present age of Rahim. And in almost all the sums of linear equations in two variables, you will be given two unknowns. What we need to do is assume one of the unknowns as X and assume the other unknown as Y. Like in this sum, let the present age of Ram be X years and let the present age of Rahim be Y years. As simple as that. So first thing, read the sum. Don't try to understand it initially. Read the last statement. See what are we supposed to find. There will be two unknowns. Assume one of the unknowns as X and the other unknown as Y. Once you do that, there are certain rules, certain formulae, certain properties that we need to follow to form the equation. Now what are these rules, formulae, property to form the equations? Let's see. Let's go through a few rules. Whenever you see words like is or was, replace it by equal to. So is or was in English, in maths, equal to. More than, greater than or exceeds. You should write plus after leaving some space. What do we mean by after leaving some space? You will understand once we start with the sum. Less, smaller, minus after leaving some space. So more than, greater than, exceeds, leave some space, plus. Sum of two numbers, x plus y. Difference of two numbers, x minus y. Twice, thrice, multiplication. Simple rules. Just replace these English words by these mathematical forms. Apart from these rules, there are certain formulae and property, as I said, which you all need to follow to form the equations. The first formula that you all need to remember is dividend is equal to divisor into quotient plus remainder, something which you already know. So if in a sum a dividend is given, divisor is given, quotient is given, remainder is given, use this, right? Perimeter of a triangle is equal to sum of all the three sides. Whenever they talk about perimeter of a triangle, you should know that we are supposed to use this formula. Perimeter of a rectangle is 2 bracket length plus breadth, right? Sum of the measures of the angles of a triangle is 180 degrees, the property. And last but definitely not the least, speed is equal to distance upon time. So these are a few formulae properties that you need to remember. Trust me, if you follow these rules, you will be able to solve most of the sums. Let's take this example itself. How do we form the equation here? Ram is 8 more than twice the age of Rahim. Find their present ages. We know that Ram is represented by X and Rahim is represented by Y. Okay? So whenever there is Ram, replace it by X and Rahim, replace it by Y. Okay? Chalo. Ram. Let's use the rules. Ram. Ram is X. Is equal to 8 more than after leaving some space, write plus. This is what we mean. After leaving some space, write plus. 8 more than, matlab it is plus 8. Twice the age of Rahim. Twice, that is 2 into. The age of Rahim is y, so it is 2y. So the equation is quite simple. X Ram is equal to 8 more after leaving some space plus 8, twice the age of Rahim, 2y. So the equation is x is equal to 2y plus 8. It is so simple. Now let us start with the sum. The sum is, form the pair of linear equations for the following problems and find their solution by substitution method. Now in word problems, to solve the equations you can use any of the method. Yahan pe it is, in this sum it is mentioned that you are supposed to use substitution, so you have to use substitution. But what we will do is, solving part is something which we have already seen, which you already know. And in word problem, the solving part is very, very simple. So in word problems module, we will only concentrate on how to form the equations. And solving part is something which you can practice at home. We will give you the answers. Right? Let's start. The second question is, the larger of the two supplementary angles exceeds the smaller by 18 degrees. Find them. Read the sum. Don't try to understand initially. Just see what are we supposed to find. What are we supposed to find? Find them. Find what? We are supposed to find the two angles, where one is the larger angle and other is the smaller angle. So again there are two unknowns, a larger angle and a smaller angle. So how do we start? Let the larger angle be x degrees and let the smaller angle be y degrees. Read the sum. See what are you supposed to find? Two unknowns, assume one as x, assume other as y. So let the larger angle be x degree and let the smaller supplementary angle be y degree. Right? Let's start. Let's see what is the condition given. With the help of this condition, we will form the equation. Remember the rules, right? Let's start. The larger of the two supplementary angles exceeds the smaller by 18 degrees. Let's go step by step. Larger. Which is the larger of the two supplementary angles? X. Superb. Exceeds. Now when we say exceeds is more than, is equal to, after leaving some space, plus. So larger exceeds, x is equal to, after leaving some space, plus. The smaller y by 18. So x is equal to y plus 18. Larger exceeds smaller by 18. X is equal to y plus 18. Let this be equation number 1. But to solve linear equations, we need two equations because there are two variables. These are linear equations in two variables, right? Let's see what is the second condition given. The larger of the two supplementary angles. What do we mean by supplementary angles? Supplementary angles meaning the measures of the angle or the sum of the angle is 180 degree. Sum of the measures of the supplementary angles is 180 degree. Sum is x plus y, sum of the angles. So what is the second equation? X plus y is equal to 180 degrees. Let this be equation number 2. We get the first equation, we get the second equation. Normally you can solve by any of the four methods, but in this it is preferable to solve by substitution method. Reason, because it is asked. Moreover, you can see we can directly substitute equation number 1 in equation number 2 because equation number 1 is already in the form of x is equal to something. So we can directly substitute 1 in 2, solve. The answer will be, the measure of the angles are 81 degrees and 99 degrees. That's the answer. Solving part is something which is very, very simple.